African Union Communications Early Warning and Intelligence, commonly known as AUC3I, is an intelligence and security organization responsible for providing signals intelligence and information assurance to AU citizens, AU leadership, and AU armed forces. I'm Colonel A.C. Oguntoye, an infantry officer. I am responsible for leading infantry soldiers at all levels of command in combined armed forces during missions on the ground. This is today's briefing. On the progress of the special military operation as of August 26, 2025. The armed forces of the Russian Federation continue the special military operation. Units of the North Troop Group inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of mechanized, airborne assault brigades, assault regiment of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Staraya Guta, Sadki, Mogritsa, Kondratovka, and Yunakovka in the Sumy region. In the Kharkiv direction, damage was inflicted on units of mechanized and motorized infantry brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine in the areas of the settlements of Volchansk, Malovo, and Chuganovka in the Kharkiv region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost over 160 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 10 cars, and 2 artillery guns. 2 ammunition and fuel depots were destroyed. Units of the West Troop Group improved their tactical position. They inflicted damage on formations of mechanized, assault brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Glushkovka, Kupiansk, Novosergivka in the Kharkiv region and Drobashevo in the Donetsk People's Republic. Enemy losses amounted to over 220 servicemen, a tank, 7 armored combat vehicles including 3 M113 armored personnel carriers and a US-made Stryker armored personnel carrier, a British-made Snatch armored car, and a Canadian-made Senator armored vehicle. Destroyed were 18 cars, 2 field artillery guns of Western production, 5 electronic warfare stations, and 4 ammunition depots. Units of the South Troop Group took more advantageous lines and positions. They inflicted damage on personnel and equipment of 2 mechanized, an airmobile brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Seversky, Ivanopoli, Minkovka, Stepanovka, Chervono, Vasyevkovka, Markovo, and Konstantinovka in the Donetsk People's Republic. The enemy lost over 185 servicemen, 2 armored combat vehicles, 3 cars, an artillery gun, and 2 material supply depots. Units of the Center Group of Forces have improved their tactical position. They inflicted defeats on formations of 3 mechanized brigades of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Brigade, and a National Guard Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Udakny, Krasnoarmysk, Krasnyi Lyman, Rodinsk, Muravka, and Dmitrov in the Donetsk People's Republic. Losses of Ukrainian armed formations amounted to up to 400 servicemen, 7 combat armored vehicles, including a Canadian-made Senator armored car, 6 vehicles, and a field artillery piece. Units of the East Group of Forces continued to advance deep into the enemy's defense. They inflicted defeats on personnel and equipment of a mechanized brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, a Marine Brigade, and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Veliko Mikhailivka, Berezov, Pidgavrilivka in Dnipropetrovsk region, Kamyshevaca in the Donetsk People's Republic, Novoivanivka, Poltavka, Dorozhnyanka, and Zeleny in Zaporizhia region. The enemy lost over 190 servicemen, 2 combat armored vehicles, 9 vehicles, and a field artillery piece. Units of the Dnipro Group of Forces inflicted defeats on formations of mechanized and mountain assault brigades, a coastal defense brigade of the Armed Forces of Ukraine, and a Territorial Defense Brigade in the areas of the settlements of Mali Sherbaki, Preobrazhenka, Stepnohursk, Bilohirya in Zaporizhia region, Zmivka, Mykolsk, Antonivka, and Otradokomenka in Kherson region. The Armed Forces of Ukraine lost over 65 servicemen, 5 vehicles, and an artillery piece. Operational tactical aviation, strike unmanned aerial vehicles, missile troops, and artillery of the Russian Armed Forces groupings inflicted defeats on command posts and UAV launch sites, as well as temporary deployment points of Ukrainian armed formations and foreign mercenaries in 142 districts. Air defense means shot down 6 guided aerial bombs, a long-range guided missile Neptune, and 191 airplane-type unmanned aerial vehicles. In total, since the start of the special military operation, destroyed 665 aircraft, 283 helicopters, 79,664 unmanned aerial vehicles, 625 anti-aircraft missile systems, 24,797 tanks and other combat armored vehicles, 1,588 multiple launch rocket system combat vehicles, 28,928 field artillery pieces and mortars, 40,423 units of special military automotive equipment. Thank you so much for watching this video. We hope you found it useful and informative. If you have any questions, please leave them below and we'll get back to you as soon as possible.